Hello parents, this is Ms. Catherine, and this video is a refresher on how to log into the platform so that you can see your child's status with his courses or her courses. And once we're logged in, I'm going to show you some things to look for once you're in there. So the first thing to do is to go to summitlearning.org and click on Login. In the upper right corner, you'll see the parent's login link, so click that. And here you'll use the username that I sent to you and the password I sent to you, unless you've changed that already. You do have the opportunity to update your password, of course. If you need the original information, just let me know and I'll email it to you. Once you're logged in, the landing page will give you some options. There's a menu there. You can change your password, you can get some information, or you can go right to your child's dashboard. When you go to your child's dashboard, you're going to land on the week page, which is basically like your child's planner, and he or she can come in here and type in goals for their courses. They can either choose from a drop-down menu to get specific work that they're working on, or they can type their own goal, something like, say, oh, on Monday I'm going to spend 30 minutes studying the rhetoric focus area. Now, as a parent, when you're logged in, you can try to actually do stuff inside your child's platform, but since you're not your child, you're not going to be able to. You'll get a message at the bottom that says something went wrong, try and refresh the page, but really, because you're not your child, you can't make any actions as your child. The week view defaults to a Monday through Friday view, but you can click the little serial crumbs right here and choose show weekend so that you can see if your child has set any goals for the weekend. And when we're talking about goals, we are talking about just specifically for that week. There should be work happening every single day, and your child may not be using this digital tool to plan that. Maybe your child has a paper planner, or they're just keeping a page in their notebook. But there should be some evidence of a plan of what they're accomplishing each week. When you click on the year view, you're going to get an overview of your child's entire year and all of the curricula. So over on the right, you'll see the courses in big bold letters. And if you click on the course name, you're going to open up a pop-up window that gives you grades and a lot of information. Let me just show you what that looks like. What you see on this pop-up for grades is you can see which cognitive skills. The cognitive skills are listed first, and they're kind of organized underneath the projects that they align with. So you can see which cognitive skills have been graded for each project, and what the grades or the scores for those cognitive skills were. And then underneath, you can see if your child is doing well in the focus areas. And you can see that at a glance, because anything that is green with a check mark means that your child has mastered that work and has passed a content assessment, if it's focus areas. And the projects show up green when all of the cognitive skill scores are in the appropriate range for your child's grade level. Blue just means your child has not actually done that work yet. So let's go back to the year view, close that pop-up. In the year view, for each course, you can see everything is organized exactly the same. Every course has 3 or more rows of content, and the first row is always projects or concept units, and the row beneath that is always power focus areas. Power focus areas are the required content to pass the course. Additional focus areas follow, and those are extending the learning and offering an opportunity to kind of boost the grade a little bit. Some students have challenge focus areas beneath that. Challenge focus areas let them dig even deeper into the content and learn more, but they do not contribute to grades. Some students have an additional row beneath that which says exempt focus areas, and the only students who are exempt from focus areas are students who joined our school when the year was already in progress. So they're exempt from anything that our students did before they joined our school. This blue line is the pacing guide. So this blue line shows us exactly where we are in time. So you and your child can look at what's going on this screen And everything to the left of this line is stuff that your child and I have, or their other teachers, have already gone through. And so you should see a lot of green here. If you see a lot of red, then your child has a lot of work to make up. And the blue line is really helpful because it keeps us grounded in reality. Like, time is not going to stand still, even though we encourage individualized learning, and students should be learning at their own pace to actually comprehend information. We don't want them just racing through stuff just to sort of like go through hoops. On the other hand, reality is that there is only so much time. So it's okay if you see a little bit of red here, 1 or 2 focus areas showing up red is okay, because there's time to catch up on that stuff and still get to what's ahead. If you see more than 2, then that's a clear indication that your child is struggling and should be doing a lot more work at home. To clarify, focus areas are independent study work. And in school, we've done a lot of examination of different study methods. We've discussed them, we've watched videos, we've tried things out together. In addition to study methods, we have looked at a number of different, note-taking methods, so that your child has had the opportunity to try a number of things out until they figure out what really works for them. And a lot of kids at this age first try to do a kind of passive learning style where they're just sort of sitting and watching and reading stuff, but not taking any notes, not doing any action with that information. And then they try to take the content assessment and do not pass. So a red means either the focus area is overdue, the line has passed, or it means that your child has tried to take the content assessment and failed it. And you'll see that in this information right here. So you can see that pop up and you can see score and attempts. If you see a number of attempts, then that means your child is trying to take or pass a content assessment without having effectively studied the content. So I feel like that's a really important place for you to just sort of land and study and have a conversation with your child about what's going on and what they need, what kind of supports they need, and maybe to give you a clear sense of whether or not they're spending enough time at home doing their independent study. Everything that goes on in the project line happens in school. In class, we engage with the materials of a project. Projects are where there's a lot of teacher kind of leading. That's where the teaching happens, that's where collaboration with peers happens, and that's all the kind of hands-on stuff in school. The focus areas is independent, and so we've spent a lot of time working on self-direction. So the year view is kind of like your really important page, but if you want to dig in a little bit more to see specifically how things are playing out, you can go to the progress page. This shows all of the activity that your child has been doing, and it also shows information from teachers. So anytime a teacher scores work for the project, you'll see that indicated here. Anytime something is submitted, you'll see it there, and when a teacher gives it back, you'll see it. Everything that doesn't have a teacher name on it is what your child is doing. And then we have that color coding system over here for at a quick glance. You can see green checks mean excellent work, keep going. Yellow with the double arrow means you need to do a little bit more work here. You're not quite at the level that you need to be at to pass this work. Or you might just pass, but it just needs a little more attention. Anything that's red means either it's overdue, or the cognitive skills are low, or the focus areas you're not passing the work in the focus area, depending on what the task is. Over on the right, you can see a quick glimpse at the grade for each course, and you definitely want to pay attention to red incompletes. That's an indicator that work needs to happen. There are a number of reasons why you might see an incomplete. One of them is being behind in focus areas. Another reason would be cognitive skills are low, below passing, and another is a project is overdue. So you get that message right under the course name in the grades section. Right beneath the course grades, you can see who your child's mentor is. And you might find, well, not might, you will see messages from your child's mentor or other teachers in the activity feed. So whenever we have mentoring sessions, the teacher leaves a message about everything that was discussed. So you might see something like, in today's mentoring session, we discussed, right? And then it's going to include everything that was talked about, and there will be a closing, and your teacher usually signs. So that message will be, you'll see it in the activity feed, your child can see it, and we like to leave that as kind of tracks of our thinking and tracks of our discussion so that your child can reflect on that as time goes by and say, gosh, it was 2 weeks ago when we talked about how I said I was going to, whatever, do something. How am I doing with that? So that they can really, track their progress, and you can check in and see what kind of conversations are happening in mentoring. One last thing I would like to show you that I think might be super helpful for you if you're ever wondering about projects and exactly what's going on. If you click on any one of the projects from the year view, you come to the project overview page, and this gives you clear insight into everything your child is doing in a project. So the way it's organized is in the left column, you see it starts off with the final product. So you can see exactly what your child is working toward in a project. And beneath the final products, you see a list of checkpoints. And a checkpoint is basically one phase in the process toward building the skills and acquiring the knowledge necessary to do the final products. Every checkpoint has some activities and some resources beneath it that help your child acquire those skills. And so you get all the checkpoints, the final products show up again down here, and some projects have additional resources as well. In this particular project, I made some tutorials just like this one, because this project happened earlier in the year when our students weren't quite so savvy with the platform yet. So I did stuff like this to help them find things. The information that might be most interesting to you, I don't know, is probably on the right. So on the right, we have the basic project information. Every single project has an essential question, or 2 or 3 or 4. And those really drive all of the learning that we do in the project. Enduring understandings are concepts that we hope that your child acquires as they go through the project, things that really stick with them as they go through life. And then there's always a description of the project itself so that you can just get really clear about what they're studying and why and what it's going to entail and all that good stuff. Beneath the project information, you see the cognitive skills that are aligned with the project. It may be helpful to note that cognitive skills are not content specific, they're interdisciplinary, meaning that your child may be developing the same cognitive skill in math and social studies and ELA. So, because these are just skills that they need for any kind of life endeavor. So there's that. Underneath that, you can see the focus areas that are aligned with the project. And focus areas are the content of the course. And so these are course specific. So this really is all about literacy. This is grammar. This is punctuation. This is like really learning how to use language, written language specifically, really well. So, and the focus areas are the independent study work. All right. I hope that was helpful. If you do have any questions, of course, email me anytime at katherineH@summitschoolpoconos.org. And of course, you can call the school, but it's way easier to get me via email. Great. Let me know if there are any lingering questions. I hope all is well. Bye.